Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the last Decan video. This is Pisces 3, and this means that we have completed an entire year, our entire decanic journey with this book. And I don't know, I gotta say, like, it was amazing, and it really was. I don't even know how to explain it. It was really, really crazy how these cards, like there was something that could apply to the situation in every single decan. Like it was insane. It was absolutely insane to me. This was an amazing journey. So before I start talking about all of that, let's get in and finish it. So as usual, I always kind of go back over and say how these things came to light in my life, just to help you guys maybe be able to recognize ways that they came through in your life, right? It's always great to share. So with the Nine of Cups, it's about wishes, wishes fulfilled, wishes being recognized, those kind of things. Um, this definitely applied in my life. I feel, like I said in the previous video, like I guess it depends on where you are on this Wheel of Fortune. If you're at the top, going down, at the bottom, or coming up. It depends on where you're at in that wheel. But I feel like I definitely was on my way up. And with this new decan coming in, it put me sitting at the top. A wish of mine, something that I just really wanted to work and to connect, came true, and it it was amazing. Like, it was honestly amazing. I can't share much because it is a very personal thing, but let's just say one of my wishes came true, and it's just great for me and my husband, and it's going to be a wonderful thing. The funny thing is the thing that actually came into place and fell into place with this was something that was supposed to happen during the Seven of Pentacles decan, and it has taken that long for this thing to fall into place and to click and to happen. So that goes to show you how long the Seven of Pentacles can really take, right? So like this thing was supposed to happen during that decan, and stuff fell apart, different things happened, some really tragic, horrible things happened that forced it to pause, and it now fell into place during this decan, which was amazing. My light keeps going in and out. It's one of those days where it's really sunny and the clouds keep coming through. So the video might go in and out with brightness a little bit. So sorry about that. But it's a beautiful day outside, and I'm not going to complain because this has been a very long, hard, dark, gloomy winter. So I'm happy to see the sun. Anyways, so this is the stuff that happened. We are in Pisces. It's a mutable sign. Obviously, water element. None of that's going to change. But let's change out these cards. So we're saying goodbye to the Nine of Cups and the Wheel of Fortune. And we are saying hello to the Ten of Cups and the Tower. So I always have the tendency to be like the Tower, like, oh my God, what's going to happen, right? I always tend to see the Tower in a negative light. But you got to remember that there is a positive side, positive attributes to the Tower, right? Like, yeah, it's upheavals. Yeah, it's like a sudden and unexpected, stuff that happens and forces everything up and upheavals. But like some of those things can be good. And like I said, with the nine of cups, sorry, and with the 10 of cups, the thing that changed, the thing that came through, the thing that finally connected and happened for me and my husband was a huge upheaval, was life-changing and crazy, but in a good way, right? So yes, we always default, and I'm guilty of doing it when I see the Tower being like, oh shit, here we go. Um, but it can be a positive upheaval. It can be a positive change, right? Unexpected change. So, I mean, there is sometimes where the Tower's not that bad, right? But I will, like, I still, like, I cringe when I see it, and I'm just like, oh, like, here we go. And then the moon, I feel like it's just the unknowing of it all, like where it's going to take us, what this is going to accomplish for us, like what's going to happen, what's going to come into place. You know, is this going to have good, vibes? Is it going to have bad vibes? Like, how's this going to echo through my life? And I feel that, like, that's kind of where the moon comes in. It's just that not knowing how this positive, wonderful thing that comes into place that was like unexpected, how it's going to play out, right? Like, what's going to happen? What's the next step? How's life going to go after this? So I feel like that's kind of all in there, right? All right, let's look at the Hermetic Tarot. So in the Hermetic Tarot, it is the Blasted Tower and is Lord of the Hosts of the Mighty. We've got the Ten of Cups, which is Lord of Perfected, blah, 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 sorry, Lord of Perfected Success. I'm a little tongue-tied today. And then the moon, which we looked at in the last video, and that is ruler of flux and reflux. Over here, we said goodbye to, let me move these back into view a little bit here. We said goodbye to the King of Cups, and we are welcoming in for this very last decan, the Queen of Wands. And in the Hermetic Tarot, it is Queen of the Thrones of Flames. So it's really nice to see her. And the interesting part is I really resonate with the Queen of Wands. Like, I guess if I was to pick any court card that represented me, I definitely would always go with the Queen of Wands. That's who I am in other people's tarot. That's the card that represents me. And the funny thing is it actually represents not the Queen of Wands, but the Knight of Wands actually represents my younger brother. So we obviously have wand energy. Our planetary influence is Mars, which is right, like a very strange combination. But yeah, so this is what's in place now. This is what we're ending our decan journey with. It's a very interesting combination of cards, to tell you the truth. So let's get in here. Let's read about this stuff. Let's see what Susan has to say. I'll touch on the really important aspects of her chapter. And then that's it. Then our decan journey is over, which still floors me. I'm still like, that is the craziest thing in the world. I can't believe it's been a year. But all right, let's get in here. Let's start with let's talk about Mars. Let's read about Mars. All right, so Mars. Mars is the planet of drive and ambition. It is the warrior that seizes the day. Energetic, active, and assertive, this fiery planet gets what it wants. Courage and bravery are its qualities, and its will to live and survive. Vitality and sexual libido are in its territory. Yeah, like I can see that totally, that energy happening right now, that drive, that ambition, that getting things accomplished and done. Yesterday, and this might be a little off subject, but yesterday, me and my husband already, like, all of a sudden got this, like, just this urge to, like, completely gut a room, take everything out of it, reorganize it, clean it, go through everything, and just clean like crazy. And it was like this drive and this ambition. And this room, so we've been here 6 years now. This room has literally been a thorn in our side. It is the room that is painted the ugliest color I've ever seen in my life. It is disorganized. It's kind of like a dumping ground. It's like the room that we throw things when we don't know what to do with them. And it just gets piled up and piled up. And it is so unorganized. But it's actually supposed to be our art room, or like our crafting room. On top of it has all my workout equipment in it. So like it should be a very creative, very comforting, very soothing, but yet energetic space. And that's not what it feels like at all. So yesterday we did so much work, and we got it to where it actually reflects those energies now, and it feels good to be in there, and it feels nice. So it was kind of like the last space in this old building that just didn't reflect us and who we were. So we worked on that, and that corrected that. And I feel like that was that Mars energy coming through, that like just like we were like raw, like we set into it. And there was never any talks of us doing this. We both just looked at each other and was like, this room is a freaking mess. And we're like, let's get this done. And we did it. It still needs to be painted. It's only been primed. So it still needs to have repairs done to the walls and be painted and stuff like that. But it's organized, it looks nice, it's functioning, it looks great. So I feel like that's kind of all part of it, right? All right, so now that we kind of know our planetary influence, let's get into Susan's book, and then we'll read with the Hermetic Tarot and see what's going on down there. Look at this, guys. Last chapter. Last chapter. Oh my, it's so crazy. It's bittersweet, right? Okay, so at long last we arrive at Pisces 3, the consummation devotedly to be wished. In my neighborhood at this time of year, the snow has receded and the sap is running. Each still, leafless maple bears a bucket like an umbrella on a dandy's arm. At first glance, the Ten of Cups is a fairy tale ending. The happy couple, their dancing children, the cozy home, the rainbow. But as its associated major applies, there is more to this that meets the eye. Mars rules this last decan of the zodiacal year. Because we have 7 planets and 36 faces, Mars also rules Aries 1, the first decan of the zodiacal year. In other words, Mars bookends the year. I sometimes think of Pisces 3 as a curtain of mist, a waterfall through which a glimpse hazily the new year to come. And in the liminal space between watery Pisces and fiery Aries, we can expect things to happen. When the sun shines through rain, where fire and water meet, the rainbow arises, though it is never for long. According to Waite, it is contemplated in wonder and ecstasy by a man and woman below. Evidently husband and wife, and 2 children dancing near them, have not observed the prodigy, but are happy after their own manner. In other words, he implies that this is no meteorological phenomenon, but something out of the ordinary, even magical. The rainbow trope, I think, gives us an idea of how we might dig deeper than the surface bliss of the Ten of Cups, and how it relates to the Tower and the Moon. Like the rainbow, the vision of happiness in the Ten of Cups is just that, a vision. It's like the title card you see at the end of the 1940s movie, The End. It is the wedding at the end of the romantic comedy. But the moon is wellspring of illusions. Perhaps the Ten of Cups vision of perfect joy is pure lunar glamour, a temporary enchantment that will pass even as the moon waxes and wanes. The couple and the children occupying what might well be a raised platform or stage. Behind the curtain, the stagehands are already striking the set. Their curtain falls, the false-fronted village collapses to the ground, the background, with its artful illusion of perspective, crumbles into a heap, and the tower strikes. And its retrospect, we knew it would all along. See, that kind of has a really negative turn to it, and I don't necessarily think that way. And then she talks about these things, but I'm going to skip this stuff, and I'm going to go to the Ten of Cups and other cards. I use the key phrase rather than a key word for the Ten of Cards, and it is end, begin again. Numerologically, the Ace and the 10 are just versions of each other, in the same way that a seed is both an endpoint and the beginning of life in the natural world. Well, that is a beautiful way to think of that. That's really cool. I like that. By combining ending and beginning with suit keywords, we can begin to grasp the nature of the infinite cycle and the way each suit replicates its own story. So then she talks about the 10 of Wands, ending and beginnings of ambitions and drives. 10 of Cups, ending and beginnings of emotions. 10 of Swords, ending and beginning of thoughts and conflicts. 10 of Pentacles, ending and beginnings of material resources. Which is really quite, and that is true, right? Like the 10s are always your ends, something ending in order for something else to begin. So that's really cool. I like how she broke that down. All right. So the everyday 10 of Cups. In real life, the Ten of Cups has brought me simple gifts, family reunions, special desserts, frisbee in the backyard with the kids, days of respite on the beach. These are the kind of rare days where I turn to my dear husband, as the card implies. He is often right there on the scene, and I say, this is the life. The Ten of Cups dissolves the artificial boundaries we put up between ourselves and the rest of the living world. I've gotten it on days when I've been walking through the woods, and I can see very clearly the anima mundi enlivening each tree and stone. It likes to mark occasions where there is some type of emotional closure. I got it the lovely day I rode to a tiny little island in our pond for a picnic lunch with a friend, something I've always wanted to do. And on a day in the early 2020 when I joined a drive-by birthday parade for a friend. I got it when my son graduated middle school, and for some reasons a couple times for the Super Bowl, which is of little interest to me but great cause for celebration for her son. Occasionally it comes up in literal ways, as tarot tends to do. One day there were too many people at the pool, maximum of cups, so I had to forego my own swim. On another rainy afternoon, I found myself strolling on the sidewalk behind a family of waterfowl. They turned out to be mergansers who have lost their way. I later learned that the academic colleagues helped them find their way back to their pond. Who says that sweetness and light has vanished from the earth? The takeaway. When you draw the Ten of Cups, chances are you will find something worth enjoying. If it doesn't happen spontaneously, it is in your power to make it so. We are in control of the narrative. If you choose the right endpoint, bliss can shimmer into view. Perhaps I'm worried about a meeting at 4, but right now, on this street, I hear birdsong. I see the first tulip leaves thrusting their tips through the soil. I see clouds shaped like dolphins. By what undeserved good fortunes have I arrived at this moment in a single human life? Even if you cannot rid yourself of the awareness that all perfection is fleeting, that only underscores the preciousness of the day at hand. Hold it lightly and let it pass. Tomorrow will begin again. And then she finishes out with a poem. Well, that is really quite beautiful. And we're at the end of the book. That's it. Our Decan Walk has come to an end. Oh, I don't know what to say. I kind of agreed with a lot of the stuff she said in her book, but some of it I don't. I don't see this as, like she said, like a performance happening on a stage, something that we all think that we want to have, but then something uproots it all. Like I don't necessarily agree with that. I mean, but I might be wrong. Like, who knows? This Decan is still to happen, right? So maybe y'all have a different story, and unfortunately we won't know because this is the end of the road for us making these videos. Um, but yeah, so let's read about the Hermetic Tarot. And like I said, we've already read about the Blasted Tower in the past, but I'll read it about again because we need to refresh our memory. The moon, if you want to know that one, you can go back to the previous video, the first Decan video, the first video of this Decan, I should be more clear, and you can catch this one here, the moon card. But for right now, let's read this one, and then we got the Queen of Wands to read about because she's our new court card that came in. All right, Ten of Cups. Today I'm going to start with the card that is all about this Decan. Lord of Perfected Success. A hand at the top of the card holds a cup sideways that pours water into the cup beneath it. A single lotus flower surmounts the top cup and is the source of all the water. All the cups are shown overflowing. Above and below are the symbols of Mars and Pisces. That's it. That's what we get. All right. And if I can get my camera to focus, like it likes to give me trouble. There we go. There it is. There's the Hermetic Tarot. There's that lotus pouring water into that cup, and that cup pouring down and through and filling up everything. And the lotus flowers catching the water and spilling into the ones below. It's really beautiful. Okay, and then the blasted tower. All right, Lord of the hosts of the mighty. A blast of lightning renders total destruction and clears the way for new forms to emerge. An outline of the tree of life appears on either side of the tower, black on one side, white on the other, suggesting the wide scope this card may cover. The symbol of Mars appears in the upper left of the card. All right, there we go. And like I said, we've seen it in the past before, but very interesting to see again. And then the moon we saw in the first video of this decan. All right, now let's look at the Queen of Wands. Queen of the Thrones of Flame, Water of Fire. A crowned queen with long falling hair and resolute face is seated upon a throne surrounded by flames. Her right hand rests on the crest of a leopard's head. She bears a long wand with a very heavy spherical head. The wand is suggested to be the mysteries of Bacchus. The symbol of Pisces and Aries appear beneath the orb of her wand. Wow, all the ones are short. Like all the stuff is short today. Okay, there she is. Yep. Very interesting card. So that is our last personality energy card that comes in over here. Our little extra energies to connect into. But yes, so this is it. This is the end of the Decan journey. I would like to thank everybody who followed me along this entire time. It's been wonderful. It's had its moments, it's had its ups and downs, but I am so happy that I did this, and I learned so much. Like it blows my mind. This is such an amazing book. It is well worth the money. It is an amazing thing to do, and I can see myself doing this again in another year, right? Obviously, I'm going to take a break this year, the next one coming up after this decan, right? When we would begin again. But I can see myself doing it again in the future, just to connect in with these cards, to understand them better, to encompass their energies, right? Like it made me see how much of a living, breathing thing tarot really is. And it's been a wonderful, wonderful journey. And like I said, thank you to all those that have come along. Obviously, my channel will still continue. And if you're subscribed, you can catch all my videos and see all the different things as I get the opportunities to create them and do them. But this has been wonderful. So thank you so much. I hope this decan is amazing for you. And I hope that everything comes true and everything just works great for you and you have a beautiful, wonderful decan. If you're in the northern hemisphere, enjoy the spring-like weather, because I feel like we're finally getting a break and it's wonderful. All right, I'm going to sign out. Thank you to everybody who has come along this journey with me, and I'll see you guys on my next video, which will be about a lovely deck or some book or something I've picked up, right? So I'll see you guys on the next video that I create. Thanks for coming along. I really appreciate it. Have a wonderful last decan.